Alright, let's see what this next story mission has for me. I got voices in my cutscene, so must be important.
I'll just stop talking.
Our task will be to slay the primal. The Maelstrom have sworn support for the endeavor. They are no strangers to the havoc kobolds can wreak.
Years before the Grand Company's reformation, two primals, Leviathan and Titan, chanced to converge upon the sea wall, wreaking untold devastation. There, by the grace of the Navigator, were the mercenaries Mervip hired able to fend them off. Yet it did not take long for the beast tribes to regroup, and they summoned their primals once more.
Thankfully, their second coming was decidedly short-lived, but that is beside the point. So long as tormented souls will them to exist, the realm will never be rid of primals.
The Maelstrom has kept a watchful eye upon the beast tribes, and the kobolds in particular, ever since. Which brings us to the matter at hand.
Unlike Ifrit, we know scarcely anything of Titan. Unfortunately, the only force known to have bested him, the modestly named Company of Heroes, disbanded 5 years since, and mercenaries are not in the habit of keeping chronicles.
Expect the worst.
I gotta defeat Titan? Really? Like the Earth Summon?
The Maelstrom's help is of course appreciated.
Oh, I've already, yeah, I had to beat him again on hard today. He was so fucking hard.
I ain't trying to get up, man. I gotta go fight him. They're giving me the briefing meeting now.
Don't worry, he's not that big of a deal now. You had to beat him on hard for a relative. For a relic weapon. Oh my gosh. This guy's a straight bitch. He whooped our asses like a good 3-4 times before we actually beat his ass.
No one would think you a coward.
It was serious.
So you will accept?
I'm sure stupid pay, that's just how I feel today. Okay, coding here got me more for
May I ask that of you, Yg:stola?
I never thought it in question.
Ever reliable.
Get the role with the sexy cat girl?
You may count on the full support of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
I think I know who you're talking about. She's like dumb short.
I don't know. I'm in a cutscene, so they all look around the same height. It's a cat chick with white hair.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, yeah. Yeah, she is pretty sexy. You get to see her do some, a little bit of some nice music, man. I'm not gonna say badass.
Papalimo, compile all the information we have on Titan, little though it may be. You will be apprised of the tactical situation when you reach the Sailor's Ward. Provision yourself for the journey. May you walk in the light of the crystal.
Well, you missed it earlier. Yeah, somewhat of another Naruto discussion. You know, that he was asking more about Narutarism. Narutarism, yeah, that's a good word for it. Like, do you know somebody who has Narutarism? Let us know. We'll give them the help that they need. Put them in their place.
I guess the thing, it's like a lot of people don't understand. It's like, I can understand liking an anime so much. It's like DBZ. I mean, it's like, yeah, there are some people out there that can whoop Goku's ass, but
yeah, several people out
you
there
can recognize that he's not unbeatable. It's just in the anime world, there's very few. You know, in the comic book world, there's a bunch, but like Superman and Goku. I'm a huge fan of DBZ, but even I can recognize that, hey, yo, Soup is on that whole other level than Goku, man. It's like it just can't see it happening. But I guess people just don't want to recognize that Naruto characters, in the grand scheme of things, they are not that strong. They are kind of sort of weak. Have great techniques. That's cool, but they're not that strong.
Yeah, I had to explain to him about the. He was like, yeah, I have a friend. He was saying that they got like these god arms. Like they don't have god arms. Like
oh, so he was just like making up shit now.
No, like I had to break it down and explain it to him, like what exactly happened. I'm like, look, first of all, she was like, I was like. I told him how the lady Tsunade made the new arms. Remember when I showed you that picture where they were just kind of laying there, and they both lost their arm, and then did that fight, and which was like that both the arms that they lost was the arm that was kind of like confused with that Sage of the Sixth Path power that they gave him. So I'm not sure if that power was running through their whole body, but that symbol of the sun that was on Naruto's hand was on that hand, and the symbol of the moon that was on Sasuke's hand was on, the hand that he lost. I don't know if it was like, flowing all throughout the course of their body, but in order for them to actually use those kind of powers or whatever, like, to make it work, they had to use those, that hand, like somewhat.
They couldn't just use their opposite hand or something. They had to use that particular arm.
Right. Let's say there was like sealing somebody, they was using that hand in particular. They never really used the other hand, so I would say it had some kind of significance, right? So they lost it. So the only person that actually kept somewhat like nice, good powers was Sasuke, because he got that, which really didn't make any kind of sense for his Rinnegan to look like that. He unlocked the that little Rinnegan that the Ten Tails had. You know how it was supposed to be the Sharingan and the Rinnegan mixed together. But for some reason his was white instead of red. And his looked exactly like the Rinnegan, but it just had the Sharingan markings on it. It was supposed to be red.
Nah, maybe the guy who writes it, maybe he just wants to make Sasuke's look different because he's Sasuke or some shit.
Right, I really think they fucked up, and that's all it was. I really think that's what happened. Like even the one that appeared in the middle of Madara's head, like where it was supposed to appear, his was fucking red. Then I think they just oh shit, we forgot. Well, we just gotta run with it now since we already made it. Then we already pushed it out there. So I don't think that was how it was supposed to be. I think it would look much better if it was red instead of that Rinnegan color that that it is. Thought that was like a sack of garbage. But yeah, he was like, yeah, he was saying that no, that's their god arm. No, they technically lost their original arms and they got new arms from Lady Tsunade, like with the use of the first Hokage's regenerative cells. That's what it was. It even said that. I'm like, that just kind of reminded me. I need to pull up that chapter just so I can send it to him so he can send it to that Naruto and just say, shut the fuck up. I just love it when Naruto get put in their place. Naruto is a serious disease.
It makes your day.
Yes, it does. Like granted, I like Naruto somewhat. I like not his character, but I like the show.
Yeah. I can say that I liked what it used to be.
I understand that. And like honestly, there's like a lot of episodes that I've missed. It doesn't matter. I've got all of the important shit. I know enough. like those early on episodes are the ones I've pretty much missed the majority of those. And all those in between episodes we never try to get Sasuke back and
the filler bullshit, or are you talking about after that?
Oh, all of it. They're not like the majority of it. After their Shippuden or whatever.
Yeah, that's when I kind of dropped off. I tried to watch, tried to get into Shippuden, but it just, I don't know. By that time, I lost the hype, so it was just like, and more of the same bullshit.
It was when you first showed it to me.
Yeah, like I can honestly say Naruto to me was the shit. Episode 140 and back. That's when it was like really, really good, and then they went off with the whole year of filler, and then it was all about, oh, let's get Sasuke back, and then that shit never happened. It's like it just got redundant after that. I mean, I'm sure it got better with that whole ninja war and all that shit. I mean, that shit seems hot, but I haven't seen none of that personally. So, but I still know about him. Really?
A lot of people hate it. Yep. A lot of people felt that they brought it all the way down to Bleach level to where, they just didn't know what the fuck they was doing.
That's what it seems like to me, looking at somebody who hasn't seen it. That's what it seems like. Right. It seems like they kind of sort of...
They just kept pulling shit out their ass.
Yeah, like, let's bring people back from the dead. It's like, it's like they went too far with some of the bullshit. I mean, I don't know if the story was that good, where the story kept up, because that's what I liked about the early Narutos, where the story was just as good as the fighting. I don't know if they kept that up since then, or if they just switched to, and it was all about the fighting, not the story.
It switched more into the story more than the fighting, in my opinion. Even though they didn't know how to take the story at the same time, so it's kind of retarded.
Yeah, I know looking back on it, it seems like they kind of... alright, you have to have Naruto fight Sasuke, but we can't make that happen yet, because once we do that, it's like the end of the series. So, it seems like they didn't know where they were going to go. They didn't have a concise picture of how they wanted to plan out the anime. If they were going to make it 200 episodes, 300 episodes, it seems like they were just like, okay, we got to make another 100 episodes this season. And it just seems like they just kept it running, just because they was making money off of it. I mean, I don't know if the episodes felt that way, but...
Yeah, the manga started to feel that way. They just started dragging on. Okay, I'm still gonna read it, just so I know the whole story. Which I'm glad I did. Oh, you want to know about the story? Yeah, I'll tell you. If anything, the only thing I lack knowledge in is One Piece, and I know enough to what he can do now.
I've read a couple Wikipedia pages about some of the powers that he gets, and it's just... I like certain characters in One Piece, I just can't get into the show, man. It's like the art style just kills me. I can watch Fairy Tail because it's a little bit different, but I just can't get it.
Fairy Tail, the thing is with that one is... I like the art style. It's just a regular traditional anime art style.
Yeah.
I hate the kiddism in that shit.
Yeah.
Everything just seems way too kiddie in that. It's like, yo, I was all the way turned off when I seen that that those spikes hit that character and it just popped like bubbles. I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, I can honestly say, Fairy Tail to me, I can understand it. I like it to an extent. I like it when it has story episodes in it. But then you have a lot of those type of episodes where it's like the kiddie bullshit or the comedy aspect of it. And their comedy aspect is not the same. Like Naruto had the same thing. Naruto had a little bit more story, but when they did their comedy episodes, the shit was on point. It was funny as hell. Like I remember them trying to, they did a whole episode of them trying to figure out what Kakashi looks like underneath his mask. Shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
And in Fairy Tail, they have a few things like that, and it's not as funny. And it kind of sort of, instead of making me laugh, it kind of takes me out of it, where it's just, can't get into it as much, but I can still watch the fighting somewhat,
That's my main thing I hate about Fairy Tail. I just can't watch the fighting. Yeah,
the fighting, I wish it was a little bit more mature. I will say that. Yeah. I wish the fighting was, let's say, done like Naruto, where like it can be playful during those playful episodes, but when it gets serious, it's serious. Whereas Fairy Tail, it's kind of like it straddles the line all the time. It never fully gets serious, I
feel like it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Fairy Tail. It's just a pitiful cartoon.
I mean, it ain't bad. It's just, I can only watch it, certain episodes of it. And One Piece I felt was even worse, because that's old school shitty art. So that shit was bad.
Yeah, I feel like when I watch One Piece, I feel like I'm watching Lupin the Third.
Yeah, that was the main reason I couldn't get into that. The story was alright, but it's like, the art style just kills it, man. It's like, I'm a sucker for art style. Right. I have to find something in it that I like.
Lupin the Third had like
I was not a fan of that guy's art style, man.
But the show was watchable. I would have to say that. Yeah. It was kind of a struggle to watch it.
I can honestly say, me personally, if I don't like an anime's art style, I can still watch it if there's something about the show that I fuck with.
Right.
Like Lupin the Third, I'm not a fan of the thievery bullshit. So that I know that's like the genre of the anime, so I don't fuck with that. So, and I don't fuck with the art style, so it kills it. I can't watch it. But like you take something like oh damn, we was talking about it the other day. Oh, Code Geass. Not a fan of Clamp's art style and the group of women that draw that. I hate it with a passion. But I fucks with that anime story and how it plays out and how serious it can get. Fucks with it heavy. Loved it. So I watched the anime, the first and second season. Watched it all the way through. Loved it.
Lelouch.
Yeah, that shit was hot. I'm not even gonna front. That shit was hot. That shit was fire.
I never actually finished it.
I would say, because I was the same way. Like I went into it thinking like this is gonna be the most dumbest shit ever, because it looks like a slice of life anime, but then it has like Gundams type shit in it. But you just gotta get into what's going on, and because it does get serious, and it's one of those things where it's like Bleach kinda, where like, okay, you have this one ability, how do I exploit just this one ability?
Pretty much.
Like his power is like, okay, yeah, I can look at you and pretty much give you a mental command to do whatever I want. That's cool, but it has a lot of restrictions where like, okay, I can only use it on you one time, and I can't use it on you twice. You know what I'm saying? And there's been times in the anime when he's wanted to use it twice on somebody and realized that he couldn't do it, and that costed him. Or like there's been times when he used the power so much, and before he realized that he couldn't turn it off, and he ended up telling somebody else that was in his family, like, because there was a time, because where like his family was going to war, like he was going to war with his family, and they didn't know that he was the guy that they was going to war with. So he met the one member of his family, I think it was like his cousin or something, that he was cool with. And his plan was to exploit his family into doing something for the Japanese people or whatever. So they gathered them all, and they were gonna sign a treaty of some kind to be like, okay, we won't fuck up Tokyo or Japan or some shit, right? And kill everybody. And he met with his cousin, and you know, he was going there to like try to kill her or some shit, right? Or either exploit him or something. But then when he seen it was his cousin, it was like, oh shit, you know, I can't do this to you, you know, because out of everybody, you know, because out of everybody in my family, you were the one I cared for the most, you know. And he took off his helmet, showed him who he was, and she was like, oh shit, it's you. And they was talking, right, and it was being real cool. And he started to tell her about like this ability that he had. And he was like, yeah, I could just look at people and, you know, tell them what to do and they'll do it. And she was like, what are you talking about? That's bullshit, right? Because she didn't know that certain people like him could do that kind of sort of shit. And he made other members of his family during the time when they was fighting them do something that they completely wouldn't do. Like he made like, I want to say like another one of his cousins or a sister or something like stop fighting something like somebody else so she wouldn't kill him. And she was like, yo, they just wouldn't do that. So his family thought that they turned traitor and like locked her up or some shit. So, and everybody who knew her was like, yo, that's bullshit. Something had to be wrong. And you know, they had to be controlling her some kind of way. But nobody had any proof. Only he knew. So when he was telling the cousin, you know, his cousin that, his cousin was like, man, what are you talking about? That's bullshit. You know, it's obviously she turned traitor. And he was like, no, you ain't understanding me. Like, I could tell you right now, I just want you to, you know, kill all the Japanese people here. You know what I'm saying? And you would do it. You would have no choice. And he started laughing about it, right? And as he was laughing, he had his eyes closed. and she was like, okay, I'll do it. He was like, what? And then he looked up at her and seen that she was in like his little mental trance or whatever. And then she walked outside and told all of her soldiers, like, okay, I want you guys to kill all the Japanese people. And they were just like, okay. And they just started shooting up and killing everybody. So he was like, oh shit, like what the fuck? No. But he couldn't turn it off. He couldn't stop her at that point, right? Because that's when he realized that his powers was always on and he couldn't turn them off. So to exploit the situation, he had to shoot her and kill her. And then ran out there and was like, see, look, they invite us here for this treaty, but then, you know, they turn on us and try to kill us. This is what I've been talking about the whole time. And he had to shoot her.
I think I've seen that one. That episode.
So, like, you have a lot of hot episodes in it where it's, like, very political or serious when it comes to the psychological games that go back and forth. And I love that shit. It reminded me of, I don't know if you ever seen, what's the one anime with Kira and L?
Oh, Death Note.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where you have the main character want to do his own thing, and you know,
like when I seen it, it was being aired on Cartoon Network on Adult Swim. That's why I haven't really caught as much episodes as I should have, because you know, who's gonna sit there and wait for episodes to come on every fucking Saturday?
Oh yeah,
fuck out of here.
You know, this ain't old school Toonami where they played that shit every afternoon at school and shit.
Right.
Yeah, did that shit like DBZ, playing this shit twice a day.
That shit was awesome. I was like, yo, twice a day.
Nah, I remember my shit was like, you had Toonami in the afternoon, you had the midnight run where they used to play like uncut episodes. You remember? I remember you had Tenchi on there and shit.
I used to watch Tenchi, but I always felt like that shit was just... always felt like the story was retarded.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion.
It's one of those weird animes where it's not a typical anime where it's like it goes from 1 to 26. It follows a series of novels that the guy makes where it's like, you know, he writes these manga novels and they kind of sort of follow his own personal story. But it does have like an overarching story, like, and plus it doesn't help that it's 3 separate animes. Like you have Tenchi Muyo, which is like the first 13 episodes that follow the novels, and then you have Tenchi Universe, which was like the TV show of it, and then you have Tenchi in Tokyo, which was like another TV show of it, and they all have 3 separate stories with the same characters.
You know, I hated the one where he had that one retired ass girlfriend. That was human. All the
you're talking about Tenchi in Tokyo. That was the one that was kind of like Sailor Moonish, kind of. Where like this main bad guy chick was like, I'm gonna make this girl that you're gonna like, and she's gonna work for me, and all that shit.
Right, I do remember that. I'm like, yo, this shit is bullshit.
Yeah, that's the one where it got kind of out there with some of the bullshit that they were doing. Where like you had him fighting like love demons and shit, like it was Power Rangers. Like, I'm gonna make this bad guy. That's like the inspiration of your love, and it's gonna fight and kill you. And they had to beat him. Yeah, but it is okay. I will say I like it for personal reasons, obviously, but the underlying story of it is better. Like, I can show you the manga of it. The manga reads, now just based on what you've seen of it, right, on TV, the manga reads like a DBZ manga. That's how the fighting is in the manga and shit like that. So it's just that when they did the show, they never did it, except in like the newer OVA 3. Huh?
I read the Super. I had to think. I was like, I never really read this Dragon Ball Z manga. Then I thought about like, no, I read the Super.
Well, I'm not talking about DBZ in particular. I'm just saying like the style of fighting. Like, it's like reading Bleach or Naruto when they fight, where like the people will be disappearing, going real fast, speed fighting, all that shit. Right. That's how the manga reads in Tenchi when they fight. But in the anime, they never did none of that. You know, they never got that far with it, except in the newer OVA 3 ones, where they fought for like a good like couple episodes where they was fighting in space, destroying planets and shit. But even that wasn't as serious as, let's say, a Bleach or Naruto or DBZ fight. They never took it that far. But the main bad guy showed up and was like, the first thing they did, like they was having like an episode, chilling down, eating lunch and shit at the table. Next thing you know, Washu coming there all pissed and mad and shit, talking about, you know, get down or whatever. Next thing you know, bad guy raised his hand. He was like in space, raised his hand in front of Earth. Earth just became, you know how like a crescent moon looks? Where like almost half of it's gone. Earth just did that shit. I was like, fuck this DBZ, you know, this DBZ power up shit. I'm just gonna raise my hand and just destroy the planet right here. And then that's when Tenchi was in space and was like, what the fuck you do that for? He was like, I'm the bad guy, yo. That's what I do. He was like, I just gotta kill you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I hate what you represent. And then they had a couple episode fight where he fought the guy, and the guy was better than he was, because it's a whole underlying story behind Tenchi that you don't know if you don't read Wikipedia pages or read the manga and shit, that explains like his powers and all that shit and why he has them. I kind of take that underlying story and put it in my my fan fiction and spin it alongside the DBZ and the Guyver storylines too, and make it all fit together.
I found it crazy. Like, alright, so what happened to the other two guys that Washu used to be a god with?
Oh, you mean Tokimi and Tsunami?
I guess, like, cause
they were, it was like the whole underlying story of it is they are other dimensional life forms. Basically, they can do anything they want, create universes, what have you. And they're of a race of people that can do that. I mean, if you want to call them people, I'm just saying that. But they're from this other dimension where even if she came down and walked in front of you and smacked you in the face, if you had like a camera or if you had like some kind of life detection machine where you can detect life and shit, it wouldn't pick her up. You can see her, you can talk to her, you can do anything, but by all physical evidence and science, she does not exist. Right? That's what kind of life forms they are. And they basically had an idea where they were like, are we gods? You know, since we could do all this badass shit, are we gods? And they, you know, to try to test that theory, all three of them had a different idea. One of them was, I'm going to try to have kids. The other one had an idea was, I'm going to give all my power to one specific race of people and see if I can inspire one of them to become like us. And then the third one had the idea of, I'm going to put somebody in the most traumatic experience that they can go through and see if they can't evolve to rise above it to become one of us. and that's basically what happened to him. The bad guy of the anime was the guy who had that life traumatic shit happen to him. So he got all the badass powers and shit because of he evolved to overcome it, and that's how he got it. Tenchi was the product of the one giving her power to the alien race, the Ģerais, and after generations of that, he got some of the power after doing all that. Washu essentially had a kid. Her kid was Ryoko when she passed down her powers to her. Although she didn't know it. But that's what their basic idea was. Huh?
Who didn't know it?
Ryoko didn't know him. Even Washu didn't know him. Once she did it, she kind of wiped her mind of it, and she basically forgot about it until, all the shit came back up again. And basically the whole point was to have, I guess, that was the idea, to see if they can create one of themselves. And the main bad guy was, he was like, fuck that shit.
What did she do when she remembered?
She remembered it. She tried to stop it, but at the time, what happened was the main bad guy, instead of...
No, I was talking about Ryoko. Like when she remembered that she was her daughter.
Oh, nothing. She just, she didn't get, like, she couldn't use none of the powers because she never, those, I don't know if you've never seen it, but the jewelry she wears, like the red earring, and like she normally wears like earrings. Oh, matter of fact, the little lightsaber that Tenchi has.
Yeah, I know.
Those 3 red circles on the bottom.
Jewels.
Yeah, those are Ryoko's jewels, like her earrings, and like they, each one goes on one of her wrists, and one of them goes on her forehead, and it's basically that's Washu's power condensed into 3 powerful jewels. She never wore all 3 at the same time, and when she did wear them, she couldn't access none of the power, that they held. Like she had her own badass powers. Don't get me wrong, but she couldn't access Washu shit. So when the bad guy came and he tried to, oh my bad.
Are you sure? You can continue.
But when the bad guy came, he just basically stopped listening to what the other lady said, like Tokimi, the one who he was working for. He just stopped listening to what she said and was like, fuck that. Like I'm gonna do things my way. I hate you because of what you represent. And he's like, I just want to kill them all, but since I can't do that, I'm just gonna fuck up their plans. So he tried to fight and kill Tenchi anyway, and in doing so, he wanted to kill him, not because he hated him enough, and because he felt that he was similar to himself. So, but he wanted to just kill him to fuck up the plans, and he was all cool with it too. Like it was like, yo, you should just let me kill you, man. Because when I kill you, look, they gonna remake you. It is what it is. They can remake the whole universe. It was like it ain't gonna be like I only gotta kill you once. You gonna be brought back. But Tenchi's instincts wouldn't let that happen. So when he did kill him, since he was better at using the powers than Tenchi was, Tenchi pretty much, his mind got put in another dimension, and his body, or he was evolving to become one of the other dimensional life form people when it happened. And basically all 3 of the gods, Washu, Tokimi, and Tsunami, had to suppress Tenchi from becoming one of them, because in doing so, his mind wasn't ready to cope with the idea of becoming one of them because he wasn't evolved enough. So it would have basically made him go crazy and destroy his existence. So they all suppressed him from becoming one of them, and kind of rewritten the universe to take everything back the way it was. And it pretty much ended on a happy-go-lucky note where they all just went, all things went back to normal. Except they kind of rewritten a certain portion of history that allowed that bad guy to find Tenchi and go to Earth. Because in order for that to all happen, I want to say like Mahoshi, the police officer chick, sent a note to her headquarters explaining to them about Tenchi and everybody that was living there with him. And they kind of rewritten that and made it so that, yeah, she sent it according to her, but the shit never made it the second time. So he never found out, and he never went there, and they basically, I forget what happened to him. They like sealed him up or some shit, but that's when they all became cool and squashed that and their whole beef with each other, and like, maybe we shouldn't be doing this shit. It is what it is.
Right.
And I sort of took that whole idea and spun it around for my fan fiction and made like somebody else who was, let's say, besides them three, like them, like the underlying stories, they did all that shit. But in my fan fiction, I written in there was a fourth guy who was just like, y'all didn't include me on the whole plan, so fuck you. I'm just gonna destroy everything. And his person of interest was the Denonu, my main character.
Okay.
But not specifically him. But let's say if I had to break it down in easier terms, like his evil side. That's his goal is to destroy shit. And he gave a lot of his power to one specific race of people in his own little pocket dimension, and they were the people who, let's say, made the 𝐦ℐ units and shit.
Right.
And I basically took that storyline of them, because in the 𝐦ℐ they never explained what the aliens' purpose was. They made humanity because they needed a weapon to fight in some kind of war. So they needed a perfect malleable weapon that they can use to create monsters and creatures out of, which was humanity. They needed somebody violent. It needed to be versatile. It needed to be able to live in any environment, which we do. We had to be able to be creative thinkers and killers and shit, which we are. And they did that. And then once they got what they wanted, in the 𝐦ℐ they tried to destroy Earth, because they had the idea of like, oh yeah, let's give this tool to one of the humans, and he became a 𝐦ℐ and started fucking killing them. And in the 𝐦ℐ storyline, they just was like, oh shit, they dipped off Earth and then just tried to blow it up with the big meteor that killed all the dinosaurs. But in my story, they never said why they were that afraid. So in my story, I wrote in there like they were afraid because at the time, the reason why they were trying to create a badass weapon or something was because they realized that this god who was helping them out, teaching them all of their badass shit about biology and sciences and all that, they realized his end goal was wiping out the universe, and they was like, fuck, we're helping them do that, so let's not. The problem was they had to create somebody who was strong enough that could fight his avatar, his person of interest. Since they weren't a physical race, they can't fight. They they weren't like that. They were all intelligent. So what they decided to do, and this is where I spun in the 𝐦ℐ storyline with DBZ, is at the end of the 𝐦ℐ, when they made they made humans, turn those humans into Zoanoids, the creatures that the 𝐦ℐ fights all the time. Then they made Zoalords, which are the badass creatures that the 𝐦ℐ fights that controls the Zoanoids. The one that they made, the first one, was 𝐿. He's like the baddest Zoalord on the planet, by far. And what does he look like? Big ass creature in Super Saiyan Gold. And so that's where I got the idea. I was like, you know what? I can roll with that. So I took they made him, right? And they unlocked the power or whatever. And they basically used that and was like, okay, we're done with humanity at this one. We have what we need. We have a way to get untapped power. So they took that and all of their knowledge with it, right? And was like, okay, now that we have that, we need to make a perfect biological weapon. Now that we got, we have, we can use the power, we need the body to go with it. So then they, through genetic tampering and all that, they made Saiyans. Saiyans, and I swear to God, it fits to a T too much. What do they like to do? Oh, all they do is fight. They're strong as shit. They don't do nothing else. And when they go Super Saiyan, they have the same color gold. But in addition to that, the reason why they transform at Moonlight, because they're fucking Zoanoids at a certain point. That's why Saiyans transform into the big great ape and shit when they look at the moon. And that allowed, so then when they made Saiyans, they was like, okay, how do we apply this power to this physical form that, that we made? And so when they first did it, that became the first Super Saiyan. So that's what they were trying to achieve, and they were trying to make a person strong enough to fight the other guy's person of interest and his avatar.
Right.
And then, you know, once they did that, they just kind of left. You know, they kind of left, and they didn't care about the rest of the Saiyans because they served their purpose. They didn't need them. So the Saiyans, you know, just like in DBZ, they don't have no fucking backstory. They just showed up and just started taking other people's planets. You know, because they didn't. They never had a planet of their own. So that's why I said it all fits together weirdly, uniquely. So I put it together over years. So, but it,
Right.
but it, you know, the storylines do kind of sort of fit once you put them all together.
Yeah, this phase hard as shit. I better not fucking fail.
Is this something I can help you out with?
Probably. I got 6 minutes left.
Where are you at?
Give me a second.
Oh, wait.
Alright,
Alright, let me head there. Ah, crap, I got two
From the
toes.
sound of it, you're probably doing a fate for that relic reborn.
Yeah.
Help is
That
on the
shit's a
way.
bitch.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
my bad. I didn't join in earlier. I was watching.
You did. Like, I figured. I was like, the party invite was for you to get in whenever you want to hop in. You don't gotta come in right away, you know.
Nah, my cousin was like, "Yo, I found this crazy anime. You gotta watch it." I was like, "Whatever." I was gonna watch a movie anyway, so I might as well sit down and watch the anime. It's called Prison School, whatever. It's fucking ridiculous anime, bro.
damn,
Girls are
man.
like halfway naked all the time, beating up on 5 students in an all-girls school, 5 male students.
That sounds like a good anime right there. Does it have a lot of TNA?
I'm not sure, man. What the hell is TNA?
Tits and ass?
But I told you, yo, like the vice president, I think she was. She. You don't see her nipples, but you do get to see a lot of ass and a lot of like side boob, front boob,
They
whatever.
kind of remind me of Tenji.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
You
Or
get to see a lot. Like I would say the main character, right, catches a girl peeing, right? Like he accidentally catches her peeing. So it got to the point where she wanted to see him pee, right? She tells him to take it out and just pee in front of her, right? But they get into this thing where he doesn't want to do it, and she forces him
he
in
is
the
a
bathroom and
bitch.
shit. For
Right.
real.
yeah, I'm like, yo, you can hold
But
it while I
anyway,
do it. You know, it is what it is. Let's
For
go.
real. Yo, so yeah, they get into a little argument in the bathroom, and they
That
struggle
would be
around
good
and
for you
shit.
guys.
You know, he's like so
But
homo,
I'm
not
not
letting
doing
the,
what I want. So
you know,
continue.
not letting the girl freaking just do it for him. So she ends up pulling down his pants by accident, and he pees all over her.
Oh, golden shower.
Well, she got what she
man.
wanted.
I thought that was pretty damn funny. Oh, nah, and I suck at explaining, but yo, there was this one episode where him and his buddy were having a conversation, right, and it sounded wrong to one of their other buddies. So he starts thinking they're gay. He's like, damn, I know we're in a prison, right, like it's a school prison, whatever, but it shouldn't be that type of prison. So he's like, he goes to take a shower, and the other two are in the shower already, right? One of them drops the soap, and as he goes to pick it up, from the angle of the guy who's about to walk in the shower, it looks like he's giving him heads. Right?
It's one of those like, this is not what it looks like moments.
Nah, yeah, and then he stops. I think he went around and he said like, oh nah, it must have just been my imagination, whatever.
No, I'd have been like, yo, here's the soap that fell on the floor. Here you go, man. You know, I'd have been playing that shit off heavy.
Nah, but yo, he goes in to look again, right? And yo,
Yeah,
it's
that
even
usually
worse.
sounds
Than, like
good.
the dude is in doggy style while the other dude is behind him. And, yo, it doesn't help at all. It doesn't help, man. I didn't get to watch that last episode though. My fucking
No,
that page I was on crashed.
Are you fighting the level 31 Fate, Jude?
I'm about to try to fight this next one right here, and see if I get what I need from it. Because it doesn't tell me which fate gives me what. It just tells me that I have to go do fates until I get it.
Yeah,
and like in these particular areas.
No, I think you have to do a particular fate.
Yeah, because I don't see
It
you on the map.
it's probably so, but like I'm looked at it, it's not telling me which ones I would have to do.
No, I think it's just one. I do remember doing a fate here once. I'm just gonna go to the area, see if like if I start walking back that area, I'll remember exactly.
Yeah, this one we're gonna find.
Because there are like 3 fates in this area, but I don't see where you guys are at. Or where you're at. Are you at the top one, the middle one, or the left one?
Jude, forget those people. Those people are weaklings. Go fight the boss back there.
Oh, there's a boss? Like...
Yeah. Those are just basically defending him until you get to the boss over here.
Alright, that's the beach one.
I didn't know there was a boss. And Danny, we're by the you see where there's 2 fates by each other?
Well, the ones I'm looking at, there's all 3 by each other. I mean, do you know the name of the fate? Because I see Jewels of the Owl. Okay, that's what's up.
I'm gonna leave you there though. There's a couple.
Damn. Okay, I was in a completely different area, so I'm on my way.
All right. That's I was like, they're not next to each other. Like, they're not these things next to each other.
Yeah,
I was just looking at the map like this.
I was in the area where the beach was, because that was the area I teleported. Because there's 2 Eastern Thanalands on the teleport list, and I just chose the wrong fucking one. Apparently, there's more than one Eastern Thanaland area.
Right, you would have to see what the second name is, but he just told you Eastern Thanaland. He didn't tell you which one. And I never clarified because I was in that fight trying to hurry up and finish it off.
Yeah, because I looked up on the party thing and it was like Eastern Thanaland, so I was like, okay, I don't know. Wait, which one?
Actually, the fate I did here, I think was for a book.
Yeah, I almost had enough poetics for, like, you know, the gauntlets. Then I would just need the boots and the helmet. But no, I had to fucking buy 3 of these fucking oils that cost 40 each. Bitch. Yeah. It raped off my poetics. I was like 100 short. Man, this faggot better not run away.
Fate here. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what fate you have to do here.
Yeah. It could have been when I failed earlier, when I got there too late. I see I got in there and started it. Fate over. You failed. I'm like...
Oh crap, no. Level sync. Bless
you.
Thank you.
Is this what I needed?
Yay, $5 grand. We did it, fellas.
You got the exact. I got 5,075. Let's see. I'm about to move on to this fate up here.
Yeah, I like the color of your trigger though.
Thanks. Shit looks badass.
Yeah, it has like a copperish tone to it. Wow. Why are we rocking these Halo colors?
See, the fate I remember doing. This is that location. All the way in the bottom of the map.
Alright, we go to that one next.
It's not there
yet. Yes, it is.
No, I don't want to lock onto that guy.
But that's the only fate I can remember doing that they sent me to do a fate here, specifically. Other than that, I can't remember doing no other fate in this area.
Like after you fell asleep, well, you went to sleep, whatever, you got off. I was about to take a nap, and then like that fucking duty finally finished. So I just went and did it, and then somehow I woke from it.
Yeah, man, I didn't even go take a nap. I told you, like, as soon as I get off, and I'm about to lay down, my cousin texts me like, yo, you gotta watch this shit. I was like, sure, why not? I did watch a couple of other stuff before he texted me.
Yeah, that dude that just spawned, is that the big dude? Yeah. Whoop his ass.
Alright, hold on. Be with you in a sec, what big guy?
Never mind, there's just a random that just spawned. Yeah, he was just talking.
Yeah, I think this mission is just to kill, you know, these little bitch people.
Damn, tomorrow's Monday, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me be as slow as these motherfuckers and like define this shit.
Man, I'm gonna have to...
Oh, that fucking huge over here. Like, what the fuck? So they seem more defined than the other dude does. These big ass black Majin Boos.
Really?
Pretty much what they are, yo.
Where are you going? Get back here.
I'm gonna have to wake up early tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm like so about to switch controllers. Like my thumb just keeps slipping off.
Mm-hmm. So I got these aluminum sticks. Love them.
I'm so contemplating on like, you know, trying to get my USB thing to work so I can use my Xbox One controller with my PS4.
I got an Xbox, it looks like an Xbox controller, but it's a PC controller only.
It's like...
I would love if that worked for my fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, the only problem you would run into is those games that require like the touchpad or something, you know, specific that the DS4 has.
Yeah, and when you get a chance, yo, hold the Xbox One controller and feel the buttons, yo. They feel great. The touchpad feels great. Thumbsticks feel great.
On the Xbox One controller?
Yeah, like the Xbox One controller. It's just the only thing that's bad about it is the shape of the controller.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people didn't like it from the 360 one.
Yeah, like this, like the shape of it is terrible. It's slightly different, but that slight difference made it terrible. But the buttons, oh man, the buttons are fucking weird.
The buttons, I don't know, but I know the sticks. I like the default sticks that come with PlayStation. I would still have them on there because they feel like thumb nipples to me. And the sticks I got, they kind of feel the same thing because they have like a circular thing or like a center circle that's just as big as like the PlayStation default ones. So they feel like, you know, hard thumb nipples. Because I never did like the straight dome thing that PlayStation normally had, and the Xbox, you know, deep analog thing would always rub off and feel funny after, you know, continuous use.
Right. But like this one, it seems like it's made out of such better material. I don't know what it is. It's just so much better. And then the fact that I don't even play my Xbox One, it still feels brand new. Tell you what, it is brand new.
Well, it's brand new if you don't play it.
I played like my Xbox One for maybe about a max of 3 times.
Well, we'll be on there in a couple months, so. Yeah, I'm so mad they didn't port that over to PC, man. Like, because I'm a huge Killer Instinct fan from back in the day. I would love to play that shit. You know, even though I heard it was kind of casual, but.
No, you said Killer Instinct, okay.
Yeah, Killer Instinct.
Did I already get it or something? Let me see which one's in this area.
It should tell you what freaking fate you have to do. I think it does somewhere on.
I'm the Eastern Thanalan, and let me see which one Eastern Thanalan goes.
Those glowing swords do look hot, though.
Hell yeah.